husband, pets breathing the slow. Grip held tight, the storm starts to glow. We sharpen the truth, ready to explode. Can't call out rhinos if you're a rhino. Speak with a mic that bleeds, not a path to tone. No cash, just saints blink while the crowd loses sane. Oh, I spit raw pages, every line a broken homo. Can't be bought, can't be sold. Gave my soul to truth, not gold. We raise the flags while the fake keeps cold.
What up, dog?
How you doing, buddy?
Long week, man. Long week.
It's Monday.
I haven't stopped yet. It's all weekend.
That's
So
fair.
I'm confused now on what's going on in Iran. I mean, I'm really confused, dude, because they're like, okay, we attack Iran for all the reasons everyone knows. And then it's like, okay, open the straits or else. Then they're like, okay, we're going to open the straits. And then we say, no, we're going to close them. What the hell is... I can't wrap my mind around this shit, dude. I have no idea what he's doing. And then there's a picture of him that comes out online. He posts a picture of himself as Jesus.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, dude, okay. You post a picture of yourself as Jesus. Everybody knows you got an ego as big as Manhattan itself. But, you know, when you're asked about it, he turns around and says, well, I thought it was a picture of me, you know, helping people or being a doctor. It's like, bro, just say you made a mistake. That's why you took the post down. Right? Don't do the other thing.
That would have been a better answer, but as we know, Trump always likes to, I guess, he doesn't like to admit that he makes mistakes, which is understandable because everything that he's ever done for the past decade has been overly scrutinized, apart from when he starts wars. That's the only time, or, you know, drops bombs. That's the only time our media has ever been, yeah, this is the first time he's actually seemed presidential. You know, when you have the likes of Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro just cheering on, and Lindsey Graham, really saying that, you know, Trump is doing a great job, then we got issues. But as of right now, the way I feel about it is, see, the problem is we voted for 4 years of Trump. And we knew that he kind of did surround himself with neocons. Now, granted, I thought that this time was going to be a little bit different because he got shot and he, like all the stuff that he went through the 2020 election, that whole shebang. But we did vote for 4 years of Trump. So we kind of have to, like, we're on the ride, right? It's already started. We're strapped in and it's going to go either way. But it is good to voice your opposition. And this, I made a post about this today. It didn't really go viral, but it is, I think, how a lot of people feel right now. They feel as if they're swindled, but they haven't given up hope completely. And, well, it sure seems...
If you weigh him against Maurice, if you weigh like Trump's as a president against Bush, Obama, Clinton, he still comes out ahead.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want anyone to think like, oh, you're bashing Trump. You know, it's like, no.
Well, yes, we are bashing Trump, but it doesn't.
No, not in that way though. Not in that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going at him like screw this guy, blah blah. Like I'm not like fully on Owen Schroyer right now, right?
No.
But the thing is, it's like I'm only judging him based on what he said, right?
Yeah.
If you said this is what you're going to do, this is what you're about, this is what you're against, this is what you're for, yeah, I'm just going to remember those because I would expect everyone to do the same to me, right? I think it's expected, but there's a lot going on right now that, just like I said, it's thoroughly confusing. It's like Straits of Hormuz is open, and they said it would stay open unless we attack. We attack, they close it. They said we're not leaving until you open it. They open it, we close it. And you know, if you go beyond that, there was a crowd, just to go something different for a second. There was a crowd of angry teenagers, rowdy teenagers at a Navy Yard and a waterfront in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. The latest in a series of absolute viral takeovers. So these teens in massive groups and just mobbing the town, running out, hundreds of them or whatever, however many it is. It just shows a massive amount of these kids just running through this area and just, basically we don't care about law and order. We don't care about what's safe. I look at those things and I say, okay, what the hell are we doing about that? Right? Oh, I was okay with taking out Maduro, right? I know people who were held captive by Maduro, and I understand all that. But in the same token, I'm not going to go out of my way to feed your kids and make your country safer. And at the same time, just say, well, I'm not going to do the same here at home. That's the thing. Why aren't we doing shit about what's here? I mean, the stuff that Nick Shirley is uncovering about the fraud here where I'm at right now, the massive amount of people that are opening up hospice cares, $12 billion in Minnesota. These are the things I'm worried about. And I think that Melania brought it up herself about the Epstein files, and it gave me a little hope. Okay, maybe they haven't forgotten. And I got the story behind that. Did you hear this?
No.
So evidently Melania had this, a friend that she was super close with, or, they shared an apartment, all that. She meets this guy, very rich guy. This guy's the one who introduced Trump and Melania. Meanwhile, the friend ends up divorcing this guy. He gets full custody of their son or daughter or whatever, their child. And this lady's pissed. And she goes and takes to X. And she says, basically, I'm going to tell everything. If you guys aren't telling the truth, I'm going to put it out there. So before she has a chance to say anything, and this is where I think X is starting to get a little suspect, because all of my old interviews with like Phil Torney and everything about Israel, all those things have been taken off X. I was looking for them last night. Yes, I've never had anything censored on X.
I will say that X's search engine must have changed lately, because I can't search my own profile for keyword posts anymore. Like, it doesn't.
No, I found them.
Right.
I found them. When I click on them, when I click on them, they're not there. They won't
so
play.
They're not archived anymore.
No, they won't play. Anything that I posted back in the day about Israel or whatever is not on here. And then the same with this lady. She makes this claim about Melania and Trump. Now, I'm not saying it's true, false, whatever. I'm just saying the claim was made. However, now all of a sudden, when she made this claim, and I found out through another X video about the claim, then I go and I look at her profile. Profile's open. There's videos on it. There's posts on it. She hasn't posted the things that she was threatening to post. But now you go to her profile and it's locked.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, bro. But I just seems extremely, extremely suspect what's happening.
Yeah, well, especially because it's reported that Melania came out and did that without Trump's knowledge as well. So this was kind of just a move that she decided to do, which is very, very interesting. I think that, well, I hope that the Epstein files will be released. But the problem is that our Congress doesn't even want to report their own sexual misconduct. Because if you remember, let's see. You know what? Let me pull this up. Because Paulie Markey just shared this, and I think that this is kind of important in that aspect, okay? So look at this. Paulie Markey posted, just in, multiple congressional multiple Congress people projected to resign this week as TMZ opens DC office to expose scandals. Now, this is including Eric Swalwell and Tony Gonzalez. Those are the two that I know of that are resigning. But I said,
up how many have resigned since the beginning of the Epstein files. There's been several high-powered people, not just in government, but in business and otherwise too.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. But I basically said the slush fund for sexual allegations for Congress should be made public. I bet we'd have a lot more resignations. But if you remember, our Congress just voted recently to not disclose sexual misconduct by Congress itself. So if they're not even willing to
Right and left.
Yes, this was both. They voted.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was House Resolution 1072 could have a negative impact on the committee's ability to investigate and eliminate sexual misconduct in the House. So by disclosing information on all of the sexual misconduct by all of our members, it's going to impede our ability to work. Yeah, no shit. That's because they shouldn't be there. Get them out. The House voted 357 to 65 to kill the bill. So this is the problem that we have, is that Congress doesn't care about exposing their colleagues' misconduct, let alone the powerful people that are donating to them. So we're like, not. I don't know if it's just Trump that's holding everything up, or if it is literally the entire system is fighting tooth and nail to keep all of this stuff secret.
Think about it. Every senator, congressman, whoever that has been in office for any period of time and then resigns or retires, usually knights the next person who comes along, and it's that good old boy club of, yeah, this is the next congressman, senator, I'm going to endorse this guy. So even though we don't truly have an oligarchy, we do operate in a lot of similar ways to an oligarchy. This is why the Trump endorsement is so coveted. But I happen to know, and I didn't know this until recently, but I happen to know this personally, that there was somebody seeking the Trump endorsement who's been a very big proponent of Trump and was told by Trump's administration it costs $50,000. And we both know this person, and I seen it in writing.
That's wild.
I seen it in writing. I would have never believed it had I not seen it.
You know, there's been a lot of very suspicious things happening with Trump's bank account, I'll say, because one of the big talking points that we had, if you remember, during his first term was that Trump actually got poorer during his term, right?
Yeah, and then
he gave up.
Sold, yeah.
Yeah, he gave up a lot of money in order to run. But his second term is a lot different. His second term, he's made a lot of money, and I mean billions of dollars.
Billions.
So, billions and billions of dollars. So that can't really just be excused as in, saying that Trump's the same exact guy, because he's made it. And it's not like I'm against making money, but
at all. I'm a capitalist.
When you sacrifice the first term and you're showing one thing, and in the second term it's the complete opposite, and suddenly you're making a shit ton of money off of, be it crypto or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember his net worth.
The TMTG jocks, the Truth Social TMTG stock split, and he got billions of dollars off of that. So that was a lot of his windfall right there, and that happened in between the first and second term when Biden was still in office.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now all of a sudden it's, but we're seeing other splits in the party. Like the other day, I don't have my second monitor, but you can pull it up. Ivan Raiklin went after Dan Bongino, calling him a pedo protector. Ivan Raiklin is Flynn's right-hand man. And this is, I did not expect that.
Did you see what Mark Levin just posted?
I don't follow that guy. He's a weirdo.
Hold on. Let me pull this up. Mark Levin just posted. Okay. Oh my gosh, he posts a lot. Hang on. He posted, here it is. Look forward to being with my buddy Dan Bongino on his outstanding podcast this week. So Dan Bongino is bringing on Mark Levin onto his podcast.
Really?
Now, I've said this for a while. I made this comment underneath Mark Levin's post. I said, your post makes me more positive that I'm right. And it was Dan Bongino is the newest iteration of Operation Mockingbird. And I think he is. And just the fact that he's bringing on Mark Levin, his good buddy, it kind of just, it doesn't prove my point, but it shows a lot of evidence towards that.
Oh, come on, dude. He's establishment as they come. And it's very hard not to think that he's not establishment when Biden was president. He was podcasting because he was attacking Biden, right? So it's not really highlighted in that era because Biden was president.
Yeah.
But now when you have Trump as president and you are the deputy director of the FBI and you quit this prestigious job to go back and podcast, you block anyone who questions you, and you have no answer for any of the things that people are saying. You only want to live inside of this echo chamber. If people don't agree with you, you block them, right? I don't block people.
What was the evidence that overwhelmingly convinced him that Epstein killed himself? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to know
I've seen the whole file.
Exactly that evidence was, because supposedly they released the evidence that convinced him, and if that's the evidence that convinced him, then that's definitely not compromised. Yeah, exactly. So, but he came out with Kash Patel, and they were very certain in that hostage video saying that Epstein killed himself. They're very certain. So, and he won't answer that. He won't answer that because his job is to come out and as the big podcaster and to steer the public's opinion away from what we wanted. It was accountability, and towards whatever this new goal is that definitely includes Israel. And I don't know how else to say it, because all the very Zionist type people, Mark Levin, Lindsey Graham, Dan Bongino, I mean, all of these people are now in control, or they're in control of Trump's narrative, and they're trying to get support for it. They're trying to get public support, and I think Dan Bongino was placed back into the podcast position.
Oh yeah, just
to do that. It's not genuine at all. It's
you nailed it when you said Mockingbird. You nailed it when you said Mockingbird. Listen, if the news that we were getting was anywhere near legitimate, if it was anywhere near legitimate, they would sound a lot more like the people do, right? And it's crazy that earlier today I put on Facebook, I put on a post about what was actually reported on Newsmax. That's in the Epstein files, where Bannon tried to have Trump impeached and worked with Pompeo and Rudy Giuliani to do it. I mean, the text messages are plain as day. No one even questions them. But as soon as I post it, I get people in it. Listen to these comments. I love them. I love all your hate, by the way. I'm going to get a liberal tears mug. It says right here. Got it. Oh, come on. I know I have it. I'm looking at it, but I can't freaking click on it. Oh man, I can't believe this is working this way. This is stupid. All right, there it is. Anyway,
things are, people. This is exactly how bad things are. You have no clue. Trump has been surrounded by rats, by snakes in the grass, who literally was plotting his demise from the very offset. We're going to break this down, and it is going to blow your mind.
Why was he talking about replacing Trump, swapping Pompeo as the VP with Mike Pence, and then
using the Newsmax
Amendment to make Pompeo the president? These are text messages with what is.
And these are the comments below the post. Good. This is the crazy stuff. So it says, "Hug balls, dickhead." Love that one. Fake AI. Just checked it. It's not AI. More left wing cow shit. That's from Arlen Bonji. and anyone knows me knows I'm anything but left wing. But here are the actual text messages that I posted. These are Steve Bannon and Epstein's texts back and forth, and the entire Epstein thing. We're on DOJ right here with the text messages in it. But now, like the other day, we had the podcast about, okay, why is Trump getting ready to pardon this guy who was literally acting against him behind the scenes, calling out Elon Musk? You know, we thought he had some type of a man crush on Trump, and he was jealous that Elon Musk was getting more Trump time than him. And then he goes and calls Elon Musk evil and un-American. And then we see him on stage with Elon Musk last year, standing less than 10 feet from him. But all that energy was gone. It's like, it's either all of this is a big show.
Well, that's for sure. We know that.
Greatest show on earth. Or, you know, these people or somebody is extremely compromised. One or the other. But not looking at facts and essentially saying, hey, if you don't think like we think, and if you're not on this square at all times, no matter what, then you're not on our team. Guess what, dude? I don't want to be on your team. I don't like your team. Your team is brainwashed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the sad part. But I will say that Tulsi Gabbard today, she said, newly declassified records expose how deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that Congress used to usurp the will of the American people and impeach duly elected President, real Donald Trump, in 2019. Today, we reveal the truth. Now, the problem that I have with this is we already knew this.
Reiterating same old news. Didn't she come out 3 months ago and say, we have Obama dead to rights quarterbacking this whole deal on the news? She held an entire press conference where she said they had the documentation that Obama quarterbacked Crossfire Hurricane and he was the guy behind the whole thing, and we got it and it's coming out. And it's not that I don't believe it. It's not that I think you're lying, Tulsi. It's that you said this before and you did nothing before. And we're back here again. And I don't understand. Nancy Guthrie's mom, aliens, you know.
If aliens are real, man, there's supposed to be like 41 alien videos dropping tomorrow. Okay. So I'm stoked for that. I don't know what we're going to see, but it's going to be crazy. 41? Yeah. 41 like good videos too, like crazy. It's going to be mind blowing. Supposedly, from what I hear, is that it's going to basically prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have some, like it's not going to be of aliens themselves, but of their craft in the water, coming out of the water, like all the stuff that we've kind of seen, but high quality video. That's what's supposed to happen. But before we get to that, because that is going to be interesting, this whole impeachment process, this is part of the reason why so many people right now are frustrated with Trump, because in all the ways that he's been kind of going after what he said he was going to do, like he's attacked like surface level problems, and mostly just it's like campaign, like, okay, I promised this during the campaign, so we're gonna deport some people. We're gonna get 2 dorks killed because they're gonna be out protesting ICE, and then we're just gonna like cut back on it completely. And when we go after fraud,
he told him, he said, stop mentioning mass deportations when you're talking in the press.
Yeah. And when he's going after fraud, he brings in Elon, and it's this big Doge experience where they're cutting down on spending and everything. But then Congress approves Biden's spending bill, and the DOJ is going after like the Somalians that are running these daycares. And it's like, okay, these people have an average IQ of 68, and you're telling me that they're running this elaborate scheme to defraud billions from our government. No, they have handlers. They have people running the game for them.
Yeah.
And we're not going after them. And so with something like this where the deep state was weaponizing the whistleblower process, and they're going after Trump, it's like, we know that, and he was supposed to dismantle the structure that allowed that to take place, and he hasn't been doing that.
He never even attempted to start doing it. That's the issue.
Yeah, Fauci.
It's not that we don't believe what they're saying. It's not that I don't believe that the things that are coming out with are true. It's not that I don't believe that they're acting against you behind the scenes. I believe every single piece of it. The problem is I don't believe you're going to do shit about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to be left with the same people that we elected you to fight, that we elected you to take down. We're not saying that you are a fraudster. We're not saying that you are doing what they're doing. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is grow some balls and do something about it.
Be the dictator that the left always thought you were, Trump. Come on. Start locking people up.
I had this whole idea that, here's a guy, he's conquered the business world. There's nothing else for him to do. He's never going to want for anything for the remainder of his entire life. And the only thing he has left to do is leave this legacy, so much so that he would be worthy of Mount Rushmore status. Right? That's kind of what I envisioned at one point.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, you're here and you've done nothing. You're eating shit from this European dude masquerading as a Jew and talking about Bibi and yeah, his name is like, what's his real last name? It ends with Ski. I guarantee you can find it. But and then he gets mad at him, and he finally gets mad at him, thank God, publicly, because why? He's been delivering false narratives to the United States since we went into the Iraq region in '93, and leading us around and just fighting his wars, setting up things, paying Qatar money, having Qatar pay Hamas. And then
we pay both sides of every war. We literally fund the terrorists, or we fund Israel, who funds the terrorists, and then they go fight them. It's like we're creating this boogeyman for you, like with real problems. Like, yeah, there are actually terrorists. I'm not excusing the Muslims here. Okay, I'm not saying that the Muslims are good, because Islam and Christianity are two opposing forces. The West and Islam, not good. There are some good Muslims out there, but Islam and the West are not compatible, okay? So don't get me twisted here. I'm not saying that. There are actual terrorists, but we fund them. We fund both sides. We fund the terrorists to blow them up, to act like they're doing something positive for the world. But in all reality, they literally created them so that they have this boogeyman to go after.
Yeah, and what is it for? It's a march toward world domination. And we're allowing the people that are marching toward that world domination and that globalist regime to exist. If we pay 80+% of NATO's costs that they incur, we provide them troops, we provide them weapons, we provide them most of the money that they use. And then whether or not you agree with the Iran war, we go to war, where's NATO? Because they were all in it when we were going against Russia. They were all there when they thought they were going to get the guy who's probably the biggest anti-globalist in the world. They were for it, but not when we want to go in Iran. And what is the difference? I'll tell you the difference. Iran has been petitioning NATO for years to become a member, and they won't let them join NATO. Now, Russia wants no part of NATO. We broke our agreement with Russia. Obama said, Ukraine, disarm, we'll protect you. And then we go into Poland, Sweden, and all these other countries that surround Russia and make them NATO countries. And we broke the agreement. We're marching toward something that a lot of people don't realize. If you take the what's happening in the world between us, Iran, China, Russia, and the alliances that we've made and the moves that we're currently making, and you swing the pendulum hard to the left, let's say Trump we don't get a Republican next time, and Trump doesn't win and we get a leftist. They're gonna do what's political judo, use all this weight against us and swing the pendulum so hard the other way, the canoe is going to flip. There is no doubt. And Trump is no dummy. He understands this. Gordon Chang said it, that he thinks maybe that Trump doesn't want the Straits of Hormuz to open. And he said this last week. Maybe he wants to become the biggest expediter of oil in the world and give the United States that power and prestige and start drilling for oil. And everybody's like, it's a fancy theory. I think I told you about this theory last time. But now all of a sudden the Straits of Hormuz opens and we close it back down. And what does he say yesterday? We're going to start ramping up oil production. I'm like, hold up. If we become the number one expediter of oil and the United States gets that position of power and we have the petrodollar, but what happens when a leftist gets in office and they shut down all the oil production? All the people's jobs that gravitate toward, all the people's jobs that gravitate toward the oil industry go away with the stroke of a pen, just like they did under Biden.
Yeah.
And then we're worse off than we were before.
That's been the problem with Trump doing this stuff, is that he hasn't had Congress behind him in order to actually solidify any of these things. It's all just it's all by executive order. And so if we're going to go on brute force executive orders, who do you think is going to be more brutal? Do you think it's going to be Trump trying to play by the rules, or do you think it's going to be a communist leftist that is ideologically possessed to make this a communist nation? Who's going to be more brutal?
That's exactly right. And we're not seeing them for what they are. That's the issue. That's the issue I have with it anyway. Karen Bass was a member of the Vincent Ramos Brigade, swore fidelity to Castro. They put her as the leader in the Vincent Ramos Brigade for one reason, because she had aspirations to become a politician in the United States of America. And they knew they could use her. And Bill Clinton pardoned her in the 90s after bombings took place on the East Coast. Now she's in an elected office. And
it's a big club.
And today I find out, because I thought, I said Nancy Pelosi, I was telling somebody I work with, I said Nancy Pelosi is not the aunt of Gavin Newsom. And then come to find out, she literally is by marriage. By marriage. And they're related to one of the Lucky Luciano and those guys back in the day. She was a D'Alessandro. And this is how a lot of their, aspirations, as far as political aspirations, have came to fruition. She left Maryland and Baltimore, where I was. I know her family intimately. So do you, believe it or not. You are with her nephew in Dallas, Sammy.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
So I know the stories very well. I know people who were caught up in the sting that in the 70s that ended up getting some of the people that she was with arrested, and why she actually moved to California. Because she moved to California because of Paul got in trouble with a girl who, made some very wild claims against him, and some judges may have gotten a little richer, and then they may have had to move to California as a result.
Troll brings up a good point here. He says, I think the influx of oil sales isn't going to be trickle-down economics. I think it might add a few thousand jobs, but corporations maximize profits for investors, not us. But lowering oil prices significantly and making money off it will lower costs of everything because of transportation. The way we transport everything in this country is all oil-based. Tires are oil-based. Semis.
Oil-based economy.
We are completely oil-based. And most of the, maybe not most, a substantial amount of the prices have that transportation cost built in. And all of these companies, especially the ones that, I'm going out and I'm replacing tires for these semis that are transporting materials constantly. And when tires are more expensive because oil is more expensive and you need oil to make tires, all those prices jack up those companies' costs. That's the transportation cost that helps the prices skyrocket for these things. So if we are able to lower oil costs and cost of fuel for transportation, that will it will help the average person. So but I don't know if it's it wouldn't
but imagine all the guys that work in the oil industry I mean, every one of them are pulling six figures. Every one, even the gopher is pulling six figures. So if we really become an oil-based economy where we're the biggest expediter of oil, now you have reason to open up the Sparrows Point shipping yards again, start building ships again, which is something he said he would also do. And all the jobs that would be created. The problem is are they long-term jobs? Do they get started, get in these positions of, being able to make generational wealth just to have a Democrat come in and shut down all the oil leases like Biden did? Can you count on them? And the answer, I think, is no. The answer is no. You can't count on them long-term. I don't think anyone will be in this industry long enough to be able to draw a pension.
Well, yeah, you're probably right.
They'll be in there until Trump is not there or a Republican is not there. And it's not that we're not fighting for the right, but what we're fighting for is the right to be right. Right? Get back to the basics. Right? Imagine you had a preacher in your church preaching a false doctrine but claiming Jesus. That's the way I'm looking at Republicans right now. It's not that you're not on my team. It's not that you're not preaching Jesus, just using that as a euphemism. But the doctrine you're using is false. And I'm calling you out on your doctrine, not on your core beliefs of not on your core values as a political party, but the fact that you're not sticking to your core values at all. And then there's the indoctrinated masses that'll say, oh, well, if you keep talking bad like this, we're going to lose the midterms.
Dude,
the frick are you talking about?
Yeah, if you're looking at it surface level, I understand why they think that. And like, to be honest, the communists, the left, it's bad news. Having them in office is bad. But
absolutely,
would you rather be like attacked from the front or slowly stabbed in the back by who you think or who are claiming to be on your side? I don't know. At this point, I don't know, because it's been how many months has it been since Trump got in office?
I think it's like 13, 14. No, I'm sorry. It's about a year and a half in.
Yeah, so we're like almost 18 months in, and we still haven't passed the SAVE Act. We've done nothing to secure our elections. So midterms, like in Washington State at least, it's chalked. Like we're screwed. And so since I live in a leftist state, I can see the writing on the wall for what they want to do, and it's horrifying. How they want to control your life. It is not good. But the laws that they're passing right now and what they've been passing is more control from the executive, but like all the way through, in order to just control every aspect of our lives. But they're doing it quietly right now because they're waiting for when they get back into power to make this a nationwide thing. And it's not going to be pretty. So I understand why people are freaking out about that. But at the same time, what's the point of just delaying the inevitable if all the Republicans are just going to sit on their hands the entire time?
I'll give you another euphemism. Imagine that you're in a house, you're a woman, and your husband is abusive, but he pays the rent. The kids are like, you should leave him. I can't because he pays the rent. That's what we have right now.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
That's what we have right now. And this is what we blame the left for consistently. Stop being brainwashed. Think for yourself. Think critically. Do your research. And don't be a cult. And we consistently tell them this. And now here we are displaying the same exact behavior for the same exact reasons. Yeah. Well, we don't want our team to lose. We don't care what they do. We just don't want our team to lose. We don't care if they rape, kill, steal, murder, whatever they do. We don't give a shit. But we got to win these elections. So stop telling the truth. Stop asking questions that are uncomfortable. And in the right, what do they do in the media? They put on Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, all these guys, and they're pushing them down our throats. And if we disagree with them, we're taking a dig at the right. No, we're not taking a dig at the right. We're taking a dig at the woke right. The woke right that'll tell you if we're telling the truth, we're racist. Bullshit. Wake up. It has nothing to do with race whatsoever.
Oh, man. It's kind of tough to say what's coming down the road because I can see from the leftist side, like living in Washington State, what they want to do. But then you have this whole idea of AI happening that's kind of been screwing up what I am seeing for the future, because I don't understand exactly what's coming down the road. And
I used to have some kind of an idea. Yeah, I used to have some kind of an idea, but I don't. Right now, my mind is a blank slate. I have no idea. I'm completely unsure.
When you see what they're saying about AI, and you gotta think, like, the AI that they've given us is not what they have, right? Because, okay, hold on, let me pull this up really quick. Because recently, Polymarket, again, this is wild. So Polymarket just posted this. Google DeepMind hires a philosopher as it prepares for machine consciousness.
What?
Google DeepMind hires a philosopher as it prepares for machine consciousness. They're trying to bring in philosophers now to guide AI, because it is, if they're preparing for machine consciousness, they probably already have it. And they're probably trying to figure out how to control
what kind of personality this thing is going to have. Here's the thing, though. Everyone talks about AI as if it is its own entity. We got to do this with AI. AI is a tool that is programmed by humans. And if we don't start realizing that the guardrails that are in place are put in place by us, they're programmed by us, whatever it does or doesn't do is completely on us. But what their way they're framing this is as if AI does something that's deemed unpopular, or wrong, or immoral, or whatever the case may be. They are positioning themselves to blame AI as if you didn't program the AI.
Well, I know that it's going to get a lot of its knowledge from us, but I don't know what consciousness it would bring. Okay, because the only experience that I have with AI, and this is going to sound kind of stupid to you, okay? So the only video game that I play, generally speaking, is Rocket League, okay? It's a physics-based game, and it takes literal years to get good at this game. I mean, thousands of hours in order to get good at it, because everything you do, like, there's nothing automated in the game. It takes inputs, and based on what you see, like, every choice you make impacts the game. Like in Madden, or like a football game, you hit X, and then the quarterback throws the ball over to the receiver. In Rocket League, there's no such thing as that. Like, if you want to do it, you actually have to control the car to hit the ball. And AI.
Oh, that's the one with the big soccer ball and it looks like a soccer field or something, right?
Yeah. It's.
I played it.
Yeah, like soccer. It's rocket-powered cars, and you're playing soccer in a controlled field environment. But AI, for the longest time, there was no way to really train it how to compete in a game like that, because you would imagine that the human mind is way better at observing what's going on in the field and then being able to actually navigate and outsmart whatever they're seeing, right? But recently, in the past couple of years, people have been training AIs to beat even professionals now. I mean, the top tier Rocket League players that are the best of the best are getting stomped by AI now. And that has actually kind of shifted my opinion a little bit on AI, because, for one, these aren't like the top tier. It's not like the top tier AI technology. It's people building these AI systems in order to do this on their own. And the way that AI does things is significantly different than how humans think. Like, if you watch professionals, the top tier professionals in this game play the top tier AI bots, they look completely different because they maneuver different, they calculate things different, and it is. I don't think that there's any way that we can, like, even my job is up for, like, I didn't think, I was like, oh, you know, a robot is not going to be able to do my job, but if they're able to navigate space just like we are, except for better because they can calculate things differently, like there's no stopping literally any job from being taken over by this just because of the way that they process information. It's different, it's more efficient, generally speaking. And they find different ways to do it. And I don't know. Okay. Sam Altman came out recently and he said that we could experience a cyber attack from AI by the end of this year. Right? And so they know what's going on behind the scenes with AI and how developed it is. And if Google DeepMind is bringing in a philosopher to, like they say, to prepare for machine consciousness, they're trying to prepare it for us. They already have it. That's what I take from this, is that they already have machine consciousness and they're trying to prepare it for us. So
yeah, well, just imagine, I mean, what do you do? We have about 300 and between 50 and 70 million people in our country. And they say about 2/3 of the jobs in this country are basically being eyed up to be taken away by AI, or AI will be able to perform these jobs better. Like you won't need secretaries, you won't need, most of the people that are doing data entry, website builders, coders, graphic artists.
Yeah, none of that.
All that stuff is gone. So if you're going to college for that, I'm sorry, you are wasting your time. But the thing is, it's like the everything that the United States does and has ever done has always been for a military application as well. So anytime we come up with any really good, anything that would really benefit mankind or society, military usually steps in and says, okay, what is the military application for this? So this is twofold. Imagine a country in which 2/3 of the jobs disappear in the job sector because it can be more efficient and done faster and better by AI. Well, that's assuming that your business is retail based. Now, if your business is retail based, but there's nobody to work the jobs to buy your retail, it's self-defeating.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you do with those people? Are you going to do a universal basic income? Are we just going to sit home and watch
That's what
TV?
Elon's been saying, man. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. I mean, that's not what Elon says, but he's been saying universal basic or universal high income is what he says. So I don't even know. Yeah, accountants, teachers, drivers, mechanics, builders, food service, all that stuff is going to be bye-bye. And trucks like mine are probably going to be outlawed fairly soon. I'm pretty certain of this because the new law that was just passed, where they say that from 2027 and on, your face, everything that you do in that car is going to be scanned and recorded, documented constantly. And what they're going to do, well, they already have that technology, but now it's required in every vehicle post 2027. What they're going to do is they're going to use that data and say, look at all the human errors. Look how distracted we are. Look at all this and that. We are going to outlaw driving because it is too dangerous. You think guns kill a bunch of people? Wait until they start swarming propaganda with how dangerous it is to drive your own vehicle. Oh my gosh, it's so dangerous. And they will outlaw cars or trucks like mine. And then you won't be able to have that car because you're going to be required, and they're going to provide us with shit like that. Like the abundance that Elon talks about, they're going to make enough cars to basically give out. And so they're going to make these cars mandatory for everybody. And it's not going to be great. That scares the absolute shit out of me. So I don't know. And that's probably like a little bit further down the road, but I don't see why they wouldn't do it if they're going to be recording, the way that people drive like that.
So since you brought this up, I'm gonna share something here. Let me see if I can even open it up. Active. So some time ago last year, I was contacted, me and Nate were contacted by a guy named Ito Samuelson, and he worked and helped develop the software for this company called Aptiv, APTIV. Aptiv is the company that updates all the software and collects all the maintenance information from your EV cars. Now, all of the other information that it collects by just virtue of collecting data that has nothing to do with the maintenance of your car is supposed to be thrown into what's called a garbage file and immediately deleted. If you pair your phone with your car,
right,
all that kind of stuff. But what he found out, and I have the evidence of it, I have the screenshots, I have all of the documentation, the codes, he gave us all of it. They have already been collecting all the data on all of the people who own these EV cars, your heart rate and your pulse when you grab the steering wheel, the conversation you have in your car, all the stuff on your phone when you pair the phone with your car. It's collecting it all, and it's using it to train an AI.
Yeah. I mean, Elon's very open about how Tesla records everything, and that's how they train their cars. It's like, oh, you're just helping the AI. Well, basically, what we've been doing is
profiling ourselves.
Well, yeah. Not only that, it's we're making ourselves obsolete in a way. We're making human freedom inevitably come to an end.
What happens when they say, okay, we have done enough studies that people with that mentality that guy has, that says the things that guy just said, to know that he's about to commit a crime.
Yes. Oh, now, they're doing that right now. That's what Palantir is.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to arrest you before you commit the crime, before you actually do the thing that they're thinking you're going to do. Pre-crime, right? What was that? What was that minority report or whatever? Yep. Yeah, I mean it's not far off, people. And the reason they get away with it, is because you'll laugh and think, oh, it's too outlandish to be true. Just like, oh, the United States wouldn't attack itself like 9/11, and they wouldn't hit the Pentagon with a missile, and they wouldn't cover their tracks up. They wouldn't do these things, and anyone who says so is a nut job. And now we know, right? You know,
well,
this is.
She says, "Yep, native. They're trying to copy." Oh, okay. Before I get to that, go back and watch Minority Report again, because back in the day it seemed like super unrealistic. Like apart from the face thing where he aged himself for a while, but apart from that, the technology that they have is like not too advanced from what we have today. You know, when they send in these scanners to like go in and search the house for people, and it scans your eyeball, and it's like that's not too far off from what we have right now, you know, with little drones and just the way we can do. And then to get to Meg's point here, they're trying to copy our consciousness, and I'm glad that you phrased it in this way too, because a lot of people believe that you can like transfer and be immortal, but it is just a carbon copy. It is a copy of your brain layout minus the soul, because we can't transfer our souls. So if anybody ever if we get to the point where we can transfer consciousness, is what they'll tell you, and I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it, you know, in the future. It will never be like, you will never be transferred into a machine. You as a person will die, and then the machine will live on thinking it's you, but it will be soulless. It'll be an empty vessel.
It'll do whatever it predicts you would have done based on the memories that you've transferred to it, but it won't do it with the feeling, or it won't be you. It won't have your passion, but it will emulate what it thinks your passion is based on your historical data. Here's the thing, though. Did you notice in all those movies?
It's a good thing we don't have thousands of hours on the internet, huh? Doing a podcast.
Right? It's funny. But do you notice that, like, even in The Matrix and Minority Report, all of these movies have one thing in common. All of these types of AI that work, all of those movies use the human body, the human brain, as its processing unit. And this is exactly what what's his name? Noel Harari, who was Klaus Schwab's number 2, who talks about this stuff consistently, and the World Economic Forum says, like, we're going to hack the human brain. We're going to, because they need the human mind. The human mind is more powerful than a computer. It's able to do things that they cannot yet explain. But what they've started to realize is that if we tap into it and use it for what we want it for, then that is more powerful than any computer that we could ever build.
Now, I don't know if this is complete bullshit or not, but before we close out here, I would like to bring this up here, because this is, it's on topic still. It's not exactly, but as far as like what we're going to use in the future to store information, this is from the New Physics. It says, scientists just learned how to control magnetism at the atomic level, not materials, not circuits, individual spin patterns. Instead of using electric charge, they're using the spin of electrons to store and process data. They can create tiny magnetic whirlpools called skyrmions. I don't know what the hell that is. That move with almost skyrmions. All right, we'll say that, skyrmions. They move with almost no energy and can store massive amounts of data. This means faster computers, lower power usage, ultra dense memory. But the real shift is we're not just building electronics anymore. We're engineering structure at the smallest possible scale. So the real question is, if information can be stored in spin itself, what limits computation? So they're basically finding new ways to store data and be able to draw from it. So this may be more efficient than the human mind. So we may not actually, like, if they perfected something like this where they have a controlled state where they can store memory better than the human mind, then they won't even need the human mind anymore. And this
I'll go take you a step further than that. It doesn't matter what piece of mass or matter you have, the desk you're sitting in front of, the wall behind you, whatever, everything vibrates at a certain frequency. And because of the type of molecule that it is, whatever is vibrating to create that wood, that metal, that marble, that granite, whatever, that is the reason that it is a solid mass. And if you look at it under a microscope, it's truly not solid. It just appears to be.
Yeah.
So imagine a world where you can control a computer and then you can just say, be this, and it just turns into that. That's cool. And regardless, that's cool, but it's dangerous.
But they can store
because they can imitate you.
Yeah. Well, dude, we're getting to a point where, like, okay, especially with how many hours like you and I have talking online like this, they could already create new podcasts with you and me that would be better than they would speak better. They would have more interesting topics. They would be able to be better versions of us than we could be. So I don't know how we're going to compete with that business.
As long as I get the monetization, I'm good.
But dude, I don't know. I can kind of see better hair.
Let me find out Troll is bald. You got hair in you, dude.
They're discussing creating reality. Yes, that's what they're doing. And I mean, it would be, I don't know how people are going to turn away from this. I don't know how people are going to resist. Like, people already can't stop watching porn. Like, porn is infested its way throughout all of our society. And that's a low form of temptation. Now imagine if you could plug your brain into a chip where you could do whatever you want all the time. A literal heaven, if you will, on earth that you
manufactured.
It's a manufactured heaven that you can create at any point in time. How is anybody going to resist that?
Oh, I can guarantee you that the first thing that's going to happen is somebody's going to figure out a way to create an alternate version of whatever this is, and it's going to be used and sold like drugs. Imagine being able to feel whatever you want to feel. I will be able to manufacture something that will emulate the high that you get from taking a specific kind of drug, but you actually won't be on that drug. So you're just going to be plugged in all day. Like the one they did with the rat where they hooked the electrodes up to the brain, and the rat realized every time it pushed a button that it would climax. And the damn rat didn't eat anymore. All it did was sit there and push the button until it died. It may have been a monkey, but whatever, it was a damn animal. But this is the human, this is what we do. We're pleasure-centered folks, and if we give the opportunity to do nothing and experience whatever kind of pleasure we want, nothing will ever get done. We will become useless. And if there is a conscious-based, let's say, technology out there, we will be deemed and seen as useless, as users, mouth breathers, usurpers of whatever, a
It'll
virus.
be Wall-E.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have machines, AI machines, that take over all the jobs, can mass manufacture anything they want at any point, and I mean, what will there be to do? And
I mean, we all know that the eventual end of AI is not good for humankind. Where we're heading to is not good for, but yet we can't stop ourselves from progressing in it. We won't, and we know it's not good. We know the end game is terrible, but yet all we're doing is still manufacturing it, still developing it. We're, hey, I'm going to build this house, and as soon as I put the last brick in place, I'm going to die, but I can't stop building this house. That's what we're doing.
We do have free will to rise up, but rise up against what? I mean, it's gonna come to a point where, like, look at how people already see marriage right now. Like, look at Gen Z. There's and how popular it is among young men to be incels. Okay, it's because they don't want to get married because they've torched what marriage actually is in the eyes of our youth. And
yeah,
if you
started with feminism.
Yep, and if you get a sex robot that is substantially better than any woman,
Does she have an off button?
Physically, and yeah. I mean, with how many voluntary incels there are right now, and it's like, okay, you have this one-time payment, or you buy this, robot, and it will literally be the best sexual experience you'll ever,
and it'll cook, do laundry, wash windows, not complain, not tell me about her workday. That's crazy. That's, how many men are going to go for that?
I don't know how we literally can't compete with AI. There's no way to compete with it, except unless you're seeking a literal spiritual connection. But I mean, you already seen how many people get addicted to these chatbots. I mean, these are large language models that literally just line up words.
I'm guilty of it. I'll be honest. I'm guilty of it. I debated Grok last night for about 2 hours straight, and it was fighting hard, dude. But I won, and I consistently win. But my God, it got to a point where it couldn't help but to say I was right. I was debating Satan's Little Season with Grok.
Nice.
And it was trying to consistently push me into a corner where it was like, no, that's not true. And then I would have to go and give it the historical reference. I ended up winning. How I ended up winning was a little bit tricky, but I won. And I had to concede.
Croc, tell me I won. You win. Yes.
Yeah. I had to concede some points. I did have to concede some points. And it made me, I think that it made me better at debating the topic. For sure, but I'm as guilty as anyone of utilizing AI consistently to get a lot of things done, to give myself some time back.
Yeah,
I use it at work. I used it today at work.
And I just don't know, man. I don't know how. I don't know how we're gonna compete. I really don't. It's gonna be difficult, but hey, I mean, we kind of got a little derailed with the point of the podcast here. But to be honest, I mean, this is what's coming down the road, and whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in charge, it looks like
doesn't matter.
There is a huge difference as far as the outcomes we see around our homes, but it seems that this inevitable path towards you will own nothing and you'll be happy, this mass surveillance state is going to happen no matter who we elect, because
Has happened. It's past tense. It's happened
that's true.
already.
Palantir, satellites, flock cameras. I mean, it's all in place, and we're just, the cage is being built around us right now.
By the time that they actually announce the cage is around you, it's already around you.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like right now, people are talking about revolution against what? You realize they just went and took Maduro from Venezuela, and they fired some
Zero
marvelous.
casualties.
Yeah, I mean, no, they fired ray guns at them with no bullets, and they sat down, shit themselves, bled out their nose, and then they walked right out the front door with their president.
Yeah, before he could even get to his safe room, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was so. All you guys thinking, oh, we need to do something. You're not going to do shit.
Our founding fathers should be stacking bodies by now.
Yeah, no, dude. You had your opportunity in the 60s and 70s, and you didn't do it.
Maybe. I mean, they had a lot.
Maybe as late as the 80s, but after the 80s, no.
No. Now, I mean, I don't even know what a revolution would look like now. I mean,
it'd be over quick. You ever see a pit bull fight a chihuahua? That's what it would be.
Yeah,
that's what it would be.
Well, and not only that, they would create like who was that guy? It was Stephen. Is it Stephen Paddock, the Las Vegas shooter?
Yeah, Stephen Paddock.
Stephen Paddock, his brother. When his brother was like, "Yeah, I don't know why he would come out and do this. You know, like that's weird." And then all of a sudden, they found on his brother's like 30-year-old computer like 2 terabytes of CP on there. Of explicit video, but it was like it was an ancient computer, and it's like, so not only will they end it fast, but they will smear everything about you, and ruin your entire life, and your legacy, your history, and your potential revolution that you would want to throw would be squashed quickly.
Yeah, real quickly. I mean, just go take a look at the Charlie Kirk assassination, right? Remember the guy who stood up and said, "I did it. I'm the one," and his pants fell down. And he was trying to run away. It was the first guy they arrested. And they're like, he didn't do it. And they're getting ready to release him. And he happened to be at 9/11, at the Boston Marathon, at this. He just happened to be at every Ground Zero event. And then as they're getting ready to let him go, like, oh, we found child porn. Right?
Yeah.
It
was right after people started making connections too. They're like, oh, he was at this and this. Like, what? Wait, what? And then, oh, it's like, oh, nope, CP, he's gone.
Exactly. And I'll give you another instance. There was an NBC reporter who made you can find it on Hulu right now, or at least you could. It was called Redacted 232, and it was all about SEAL Team 6 being set up, and about all that whole situation. And the reporter who put the movie out, who did all the investigative reporting on it, within like 2 or 3 months of him putting the movie out, child porn. This immediately child porn. Guys, you got to realize that if you can go to the internet, if there is a way out of your computer to the world, there is a way out of the world into your computer.
Yep.
Right. And so AI is the best hacker in the world because it can see the things you can't. It can see the open ports. It can do all the things that no hacker could, no antivirus could. And believe me, the government has ways, and other subversive groups have ways to getting on your computer without any effort at all, on your phone, on anything.
Well, to be honest, that's actually what I think the Epstein Island, like his files, I think that's what they were used for. I think all the like he was a sick person, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I have a feeling that like his island was one of the black sites where they kept a lot of this stuff to implant on people's computers on
you see that big altar he had, dude? He had like this square building on the island, and it was all made like a religious altar, like a Roman style deal. It's a square building. It looked wild. And all this weird artwork on it and everything. Now people were sneaking onto the island and going in and posting photos and videos of it. And then the last time somebody went there, there was a woman with a bikini on just walking the island like she was there. Which is weird because the government was supposed to take this thing over, and who's this lady just wandering around the island? But they boarded up this building, this religious looking building that he had where they all used to do their parties. And then Ghislaine Maxwell, She said there's no cameras in Little St. James. She never commissioned any cameras. Turned out there was cameras everywhere. Cameras in the paintings, cameras in the phones, cameras in the walls, cameras. There were cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, let's
sad.
Stay positive. Don't get blackpilled. Just live your life. Make sure that you find your relationship with Jesus Christ, because in all reality, the conscious AI that they are currently creating is probably going to be just an empty vessel that will be possessed by some demonic form. That's all I can see.
Don't believe that the things they're getting ready to show you, and they are getting ready to show you,
46
are
videos
aliens.
Tomorrow. 46 videos.
Do not believe for a second they are aliens. Do not believe for a second that they're anything other than demonic. And you can read all of this in your Bible, and you can actually see the way that they explain it in the Bible is exactly what you're seeing, and it's called the Grand Deception. Genesis 1:26 states that God let us make our image, let us make man in our image. Ezekiel's vision, where he said there was a structure of wheels within wheels, came down and took him up. Enoch said the same thing, that he was taken up by a craft. He described what today would be called a UFO. Daniel talked to Gabriel, who did battle with Prince of Persia in the second heaven. That's what it's about right there. If you guys ever forget why you're fighting and why you're speaking out and doing anything you're doing, look at Raylan.
This is it right here.
Stop.
What's up? That's Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah. Oh, he said that clear as day.
Eddie.
What's up, buddy? What?
Daddy.
He can't hear you.
Yeah.
Are you laughing, Dad? What's
Yeah.
up, Dad?
What's up, Raylan? What's up?
I see this.
What's up?
Someone my phone?
No, that's my phone.
Yeah, got that.
All right, you guys, that's my cue. I'm getting out of here. Thank you for tuning in. If you can, please share this podcast if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it. And we will be back on Wednesday.
Yep. Yeah. And we may take a crack at the Satan's Little Season again when he's less tired. That is such an amazing topic, and it really deserves a lot of attention. JT called me back and said he's coming on. So the guy who pushed this narrative to begin with, who did all the study, who made it what it is today, his name is JT, and I spoke to him the other night, and he's willing to come on the podcast. So maybe we can get him. I'll call him.
Cool.
Save the day.
He's going to save the day. All right, you guys. God bless you all.
I win for.
All right, guys. Thanks. Have a great night as usual. The silent majority, you need to stop being silent and stand your ground. Evil never retreats willingly. It must be beaten back. We'll see you soon, guys. Take it easy.
Midnight gears hum low. Guitars bend, pads breathing the slow.